Good afternoon or early evening, folks, and welcome to Ethnic Discussion. This is episode 492, and today we're doing part two with Guru Josh Wood. And today he's going to be sharing some of the stories with us when he was over in the Philippines, Manila, and training, but he's also going to be demoing stuff. So if there's something in particular you'd like to see, by all means, put it in the comment section if you're watching. Tell us where you're watching from, smash that like button, and we're just getting started. Without further ado, here he is, somewhere in the mountains.
Somewhere in the mountains, indeed. And it's well, we're mid-August, and where I live, the weather starts to shift now, right? So
Yeah.
toques on. I mean, I'm still in a tank top, but I'm getting ready for winter. I just cleaned out my chimney. Pine needles are coming out of the gutter. It's like it shifts here really really quick,
It
right?
does
So
same here for us in August. It's like you can actually feel like at night that just that yeah, it's the strangest thing.
yeah, it happens super fast, and I know I still probably have like two cords of firewood from last season, so I'm excited about that. I still have to go all my firewood still, and but yeah, it's yeah, life in the forest.
So
So
also you are you basically heating off just like firewood?
yeah, I only have a wood stove in my place.
Wow,
I
man, you're
built we're like to call my place rustic would be very generous.
geez, that's awesome though. And it works okay? It keeps you guys okay?
Yeah, it's great as long as as long as an individual like winterizes okay, like you seal up your windows, you kind of
Mhm.
you batten everything down, like you can be pretty efficient. But it's amazing when through previous mistakes where I did winterize correctly, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like the cabin is like cold, like what did I miss? And
My
it was like
pipes are
one
freezing.
window in a back room or something that I didn't do, and you're like, yeah. So
Yeah, man. I just like there's no water. The pipes are frozen.
well, shit, and that what? And to further that, like that happened to us last year. We had a cold snap. It was like -30 here,
Oh,
and when it gets that cold, I keep all the faucets running in the
yeah,
cabin because
quickly.
water
Yeah.
freeze, right? So I keep everything active. A space heater in the pump house, space heater under my cabin, and I remember waking up. Something was off, and I woke up at like 4 in the morning one night, and I'm like, no, it was too dead calm. It was just too still, and I'm like,
No.
it was like shit. The pipes are froze. So I
Uh,
remember it was like probably like 3 feet of snow here, -30, and I'm like in the middle, like 4 in the morning, put on my robe and my big winter boots. My pump house is probably at least 250, 300 meters from here, down in towards the creek, and I ran down, and sure as shit, the space heater had collapsed in the pump house. So, but at least I caught it. I replaced the heater, got the pump house back up to temperature, and the pipes let go. But had I even slept like 2 more hours, had I slept till 6 in the morning, I would have been screwed. The whole thing would have like shut down.
you
But like,
would, yeah. Oof.
so it's like it's easy to romanticize like the rural lifestyle, but man, like you have to be on all the systems here, or like if there's one failure, like that's it.
Your life's just gonna be freaking miserable, man.
It's gonna be cold, it's gonna be water.
Yeah, and we got
um,
Eric and Dennis. All right. Yeah. So last one went really well. It was really enjoyable, and so as in the intro, I figured you would share some stories, and then you would demo some stuff. So
yeah,
uh,
sure. I mean, I forget where we left off with the storytelling. There's so much to share. We kind of like left off in like lifestyle and Tondo, and
where we left off was you were telling about like how when you were sleeping at Tony's, one of the last, it was, you only told a couple stories, but one of the stories was that when you woke up, you had this dream of just like fighting multiple guys and that, and you came downstairs and Tony looked at you and kind of knew what, so to speak, what you were going through. If I'm recalling that correctly.
that's right. That's correct. So he yeah, I would get up in the morning and like really agitated, and I'd share these stories with him. Or no, he would ask first. He'd be like, "Oh, how was your sleep last night?" And I'd be like, "Well, really frustrating. Like I was having like nightmares. So this went on for like 3 or 4 nights where I was having to fight these entities. I don't even know what they were. They weren't human. I don't know what they were. But
Mm,
it was like, but it was the weaponry. It was a stick. It was a bolo. It was a knife. But I couldn't defeat them. It didn't matter what I did. I couldn't defeat. And then I would fight and fight and fight and fight. And then I told you at that time, because I'd been training so much, my system was like was lit. My fast twitch muscle was lit, and I was coming off the mattress. I was coming off the mattress, like 6 or 8 inches, and covered in sweat. And he was always giggling about it. And
uh-oh. He's froze, which is indicative of internet. All right, well, let's just see if he gets back in, folks. Meanwhile, what can I talk about? While we're waiting for him to get back in, Friday's episode, Mike Brewster. That's going to be really interesting. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. Kind of a rebel guy. Definitely speaks his mind. Really interesting background. Yeah, so we're doing that Friday, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that is going to be at 7 p.m. this Friday. So you would definitely want to check that out. I'm going to put the flyer actually out probably tomorrow morning. But really, just a really interesting guy. So yeah, if you're not doing anything Friday at 7, be sure to check it out. I'm hoping he can get back in. He got in like no problem, and here we go. Here he
are
is.
we back?
We are back.
Okay, sorry about that, man.
No
It's like
worries. No, maybe I'm a professional here in dealing with glitches and things. So no worries, man. Yeah, so you were talking. Yeah, so we were kind of just recapping how we left off last time, as far as the
the
cold
dreaming.
sweats and yeah.
The dreaming. So I don't know where I left off, but it was for 3 or 4 nights where it was just really intense dreaming, and Tony was kind of giggling in the morning. Oh, how was your sleep? How was your
Knowing
sleep?
that you slept miserable.
Yeah, it wasn't good. But I remember I was coming off the bed. I was coming off the bed like 6 to 8 inches. My whole body would like be jolting, and I'd come off the bed. And I think we were just training so much at that time, where the fast twitch, fast. So my nervous system was lit. But he was kind of giggling at that. So I don't know what that was. And I heard later on, like, there was other uh, seniors in the system who had the same experience, the dreaming. Are you still there?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. I can't tell if you're still there because of my angle. Yeah. So I'm in hindsight, like I consulted Romeo Mahakapal on that, and he was just like, "Oh, well, Tony was the one that was making you dream." Because I think other senior, I'm not sure if Romy had the dreams or Yuli, but there were other people who were around, like, throughout the transmission, who had like this dream profile for a period of time. So yeah, so I don't know if that was part of the transmission or part of what that is with the Illustrissimo group. I'm not sure exactly, but I do know I had this experience where the very profound dream experience.
Yeah, it sounds like others had it too. So I mean, it's interesting what Romeo said. Tony, it was from Tony.
Well, that was it. He was just like, oh, Tony was making the one dream, and then like I queried that. I'm like, I just think that I don't think any one individual was capable of that. I just think there's maybe there was something within the transmission. I don't think any one person like doing it.
Yeah.
That was my take on it. I mean, maybe I don't know enough, or I'm naive about it, but that was
I just
my
think, like you're saying, you're training all these hours and your adrenaline system is obviously just off, off the hook. You're quick twitch and
yeah.
yeah, I mean, like, who knows, right? Or a combination of everything, right?
Yeah.
And then So yeah, whatever else you want to share for our stories, that's kind of where we left off, and we kind of
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
you
So
know,
we like, there's just so many little stories of like living with Tony and in Tondo, and him and I were like peas and carrots. We kind of did everything together. And, Tony never had children of his own. He adopted a lot of kids.
mm,
And so I kind of inadvertently, I feel, we had an adopted son, adopted dad relationship where we just had that dynamic. We did everything together. He was very protective of me, and we did a lot of a lot of things through Tondo and Manila. I remember going to the pier one day, Pier 4, and I mean, it's dodgy. Still there, Dean?
oh yeah, okay,
Still
there we
there?
go. Oh yeah,
Okay,
yep, we're
good.
saying
I all coming through, but and
it's
I
it's uh
stopped off.
it's, it's a spirit coming in and affecting your phone. No, I'm just kidding.
But I remember I'd gone to a canteen kind of like right across from Pier 4 one day, and then I'm a young man. I'm only like 20, and I went there and I got like pansit or something, and some guy got really rough with me, and grabbed me and was like really aggressive, and um, you know, was really persistent that I needed to give him money and I needed to pay his bill, and he wouldn't let go of me. And it was, I was a young man, and I didn't, it was a new experience for me. I wasn't about to like get violent with anybody in that neighborhood. And so eventually I wrestled free from this situation, and I went across to meet Tony. I was already late and got there, and I told Tony, I said, hey, I just had this experience across the road. This guy, he got really aggressive and he grabbed me and he wanted my money. And right away, and I told you, Tony could go from 0 to 100 right away. And
Mm.
his eyes just went like black, like a fucking tiger shark. And he had like one of those collapsible batons. So
Oh
he
wow.
slammed the baton. He put it in his pocket. He's like, let's go. And I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like, great.
Yeah,
So
you wish you didn't say anything.
we head out of the pier, and he's like, I'm like, no, this is not good. And so we crossed the road, and he's like, where were you, Josh? And I'm like, over there at that canteen. He's like, okay, let's go. And he's like, where's the guy? Where's the guy? And I'm like, he's right there. He's at the bar. So Tony, pulls out the baton, walks up to the bar, grabs the guy. And Tony had really bad cataracts at that time. People don't understand. Tony couldn't really see. And grabbed the guy, spun him around. And as it turns out, they knew each other. So
Oh boy.
yeah, exactly. So I'm like, thank Christ, I don't want to see that happen. But like Tony was very protective of me. If anything untoward or weird was happening, or he thought I was in any sort of danger, he always had my back, and he would always follow up. Um, yeah, but
How old was
there,
he then? Like when you were like the time frame you're talking on, like about how old was he?
I think I was, because I believe Tony and I are 26 or 27 years apart. So when I was 25, I was training with him. He was 52.
Oh, he
Um,
was getting cataracts already. Oh man.
Pardon me.
He was getting cataracts already at that age?
Oh yeah, he was already falling apart at that time. Like
Oh
he had really
man.
bad like gout and health issues and knee issues. I'm not sure how he blew out his knee, but his knee was blown, and his eyes. He always had he had issues with his eyes. Um, so that was yeah. You're always dealing with it was like the blind master. You're like, oh my god, is this guy gonna hit me? Does he know what he's doing? Um, can he see where his strikes are coming from? But that was
Wow, I
Tony.
didn't realize. Oh wow, that's sad. I didn't realize it was in his 50s when he started all those issues. Like what and again, what year or years was this about? As far as
I'm
early
gonna say
2000?
this is between a window of like 2001 and 2004. And I can say most of the health issues happened like 2002, 2003, because I remember like I was the one that picked him up at the hospital after the cataract surgery. He later that year he had really bad kidney stones. He was in Manila hospital. I was there with him during that. I remember holding him up, while he could take a piss in a bucket, kind of thing. Like those are the hardships or the perils of living in poverty, right? When you don't have access to medicine or clean food or clean water or all those things, like your life falls apart, right? And
that's so sad. So, because he passed in what year? 2011?
I think it was when it was like 2014.
Or was it later? So he was okay. So if he started having towards the end there, that must have been really wow.
Yeah, that's just it. So like he just in his common, I feel with Filipino culture, like you can either go two ways. You're gonna get really old or you're gonna die right away. And what I feel like culturally, like once they feel like they're going, they just kind of let life go and they're like, okay, fuck it, I'm gonna die. That was my experience anyway. Not just with him, but with other Filipino like seniors, if you will, like older people.
So now, did you see? So after 2004, did you see him after that, or no?
Pardon me?
Did you see him after 2004?
Yeah. So yeah. So 2004. Well, my son was born in Mindanao in 2004, and we were still traversing back from like Mindanao to Manila and spending time with Tony and the group and whatnot. And so like yeah, from 2004 till about 2008, I was still traversing back and forth, Mindanao, Manila, back to Canada. Yeah. So that was. Sorry, I hear a car coming up my driveway.
Keys, Eric O'Brien.
On family life. Yeah.
Wow, that's just sad. That's sad, 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 sad. So he must have been wow. I just I always heard towards the end there he was dealing with the medical issues, just not stuff going on. I definitely heard about the knees and stuff. I had no idea though all that stuff started occurring in his early 50s. Wow.
Well, yeah. I mean, I remember. I mean, even the first.
All right, folks, I'm gonna have to have him readjust his phone somewhere else. Internet.
Up the.
See you. I see you.
He's maybe only 50 years old because his knees were so. Yeah.
Hey, Josh, you faded in and out twice. You came back. Is reception okay?
It should be. I feel like it's just depending on the time of day. Like the Starlink cuts in.
Okay, no, we can run with it. But just I mean, it was like 5 seconds. You're back in. So it's nothing major. But
yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's the trick with it. Like yeah, sometimes whatever we can go unimpeded for 15 minutes and
then all of a sudden you're gonna be like
yeah, clap.
Yeah, no worries. We'll make it work. So all right, yeah. So that's one story, man. That's so yeah. Wherever else you got,
Man, there's so many stories. I was trying to think if I wanted to share some of those more esoteric stories that happened to me. I had some weird stuff happen to me in Mindanao with potions and lotions and walk and sig bins and all that stuff. But I feel like that I'm not sure if I want to share that at this moment. But what we could do is I could show a couple of movements like the pondo. I could show like some different hand movements and then if you have questions, we could talk about certain things. We could talk a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, like this one doesn't have to be as long as let's do it. So whatever you want to show. Yeah, if you want to show the fondo.
Let me adjust the camera. And then I'm good with questions. You know, I like people asking me shit.
Yeah. I'll definitely get to cue the audience now. Those are watching if they want to
And
see
they can
something
be
in
like,
particular.
okay, so like this, this is my
So
little cat.
audience, if you got anything, let me know. Eric, we don't use that. I see you, homie. Eric, that's not Blade Tech lingo. I'm gonna have to talk to you about that. That's actually upsetting.
Was that?
I'm just talking to one of my students on the comment section. Eric.
Yeah, I can just, you know, I can
Actually, that'll be that's actually working out pretty well. Actually, I can see you clearly. Perfect. Yeah.
my hear completely.
Oh, perfect. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, because I'll try to line it up. So
No, it looks good.
even just from here, like I mean, technical high guard is here. Like I'm more of a low guard practitioner. I prefer to be here. But even from this position, I think sometimes when I see people move, there's a disconnect between this and the hip. You know, they'll kind of like, you know, be a little bit sloppy. Where this is should be here, should be tight, yo. From here also, this can stay in position. I can drop that foot back, and then this can be late as an engagnon, right? So keep my hand in range. So I'll bait. I'll keep this in range. You step in. I'll get my body out of range, and then I'll cut late, right? Position here. So from here, Australia, vertical. Zuma, cruzada. Okay. But every time I finish, I'm pointing here, right?
Okay.
If I step here, pointing here. It's the wasp. Back. Prile. Cut. But everything's just tight. And wherever I finish, like even in this position, my tip lines up with my back foot. This line lines up with my knee. This line lines up to my shoulder. So even in this position, I feel like I'm guarded here, right? Any cut that comes to me has to pass through this, right? Even if I'm here, I'm open. If I come over here too far, I'm open now. But here I'm protected, right? So I move the same way here. Same. Toe pointing, pointing, pointing. Up to my shoulder.
Nice.
Guarded in this position, right? So as I move forward with my own practice, like I like to play low guard, and I like to focus on alignment. Like whenever I finish, like if the camera is you, my toe is pointed to you, there I'm pointed to you, everything's lined up, right? If an attack comes, and I'm more on, see my blade's on this side, oh, then I move to this side, finish here, to this side, finish this side, right? Are you still there?
Oh yeah. No, I'm watching. I'm just watching. Oh yeah.
Yeah, sure.
No, look,
but I mean,
yeah.
You know, this sequence, we speculate is from Salat because there's a crossover with the movement. But even when you go from Australia, the hands are sticky. You go to vertical, right? So from here, if I have space, I can step directly and come into cruzada. But if I'm close, if I come here, I make a quick little move. And now I'm back. Right? But for me, is this one. That's the close quarter. And I forget the name of it. There's Tat Long Bao.
Tatsula?
Tat Long Bao is medium range, right? From here, here's your triangle footwork. Some people call triangle. You step. You realign. But sometimes you're too close. I can't just step or I get hit. So from this position, step back. So I create space. I'm here. Space. Now I come in. Right?
We call it Tatsula because you're stepping back first.
Sorry, what do you call it?
Tatsuluk, because you're stepping back first.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Retreat back, create space, and then in.
All right. So what do you here's a question for you. On the Australia, in other words, if they're pushing the energy, are you going to into Tumbata?
Meaning, so if I'm in this position and I feel that line, so meaning this position.
Yeah, absolutely.
So capture the yeah, because sometimes you can't break that; it's too strong. Depending, and especially depending on your range, especially in a medium range, you can't just break that. It's too aggressive, right? So you can do that. You can tumbada, you can solo.
Scoop. All right.
Right?
So dissolve the energy. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. You can if I'm on the inside. Now I'm on the inside of that circle. So now I can work, right? So I can Australia go. I can Australia I'll do this. Whatever that's going to be. So you have to make a decision if you're.
Oh man, just seeing when things are getting good.
So the cut comes, gonna pass. Cut comes, I pass. It's this passing game, right? Energy comes, I pass. Now I've got my opening. Boom, I'm gonna do my Amara series, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if you're too close on the inside, boom, I'm gonna shut that down. I'll stop it.
So
Each energy, pack, and I'll finish.
Alcantara?
Yeah, Alicanto Serrada. So on the inside, or from Serrada, you can come here as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
What's your hey, here's the thing. I mean, I'm just waiting for folks to ask, but I mean, I got enough to. So, what's your take on media Frile?
I love Media Frile. It's probably my go-to technique and positioning because the vertical parry is way more applicable. So if I'm facing you, I'm in this position right away. I'm guarded here, right? So depending on where you're holding your weapon, if you cut me, you have to cross this line, right? Maybe if you cut Redondo, you stay on the Abierta side or Serrata side for that matter. But chances are you're cutting across this line. So I know if I occupy this line, I'm already ahead of you. I'm going to beat you in time, right? So if that cut comes, I'm going to encourage it, right? So I'm going to parry it, pack, and then I'm going to finish, right? Or whatever that's going to be. Cut comes from this side. Cut.
So is your definition or compare and contrast between Frile and media, Frile fully ranging out, media halfway? Is
That's
that
right.
kind of how you look at it?
That's right. Yeah, like media would be like medium, like medium. So it's not true Prile. Real Prile would be like a recta move. I got some videos of it. So if I was in this position and you cut, I would just come right up your middle. That's true Prile. I would just hit you. I would either hit your midline or hit your chin, or I would come right up into your arm, and then my empty hand would replace that contact. I would empty that, and I would counter. Media Prile is when I parry you, snap, and I cut. That's media Prile. That's mid range. You still there?
Are you also doing it too, though, like here? So, can you see me? Okay.
Hang on, I gotta go around. I can. Yeah, hold on. I don't know how to get you big, but let's try.
Oh, okay. I don't want to screw you up. It's not that big of a deal.
Okay. You can articulate. I can hear it. What's up?
So with media, meaning like, say, for instance, on an open, kind of here to there, or like with the back edge, kind of hitting the back edge and coming more on a horizontal plane.
So it's hard because I can't see it. So what I
know.
just say is, are you talking about Soon Kit?
No, not swing kit. Not no. It's kind of like
So
if you
so
take your sword,
so
not
are
swing
you
kit, but
coming flat or are you coming back?
not coming back like swing kit. I mean, I'm talking like coming sandwiching, coming across, and then pulling the tip back
Oh,
to throw.
you're talking coming this way, cutting.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
so that would be that's probably, but like yeah, me coming, I'm in close guard, and say you're in close guard, so so that's a good question. So you can go back to the blade, right? That's going to impact say the back of the hand. Pull that out. You can thrust, or you can come this way. You can come edge this way,
Okay.
right?
And of
So
course, you
that's
could do that closed or open. It's just
cut,
with the opposite. Gotcha. On the thrust. Right. Okay.
and
And you
then the
can do
thrust.
that open as well.
So sorry. So similarly, say I'm in open guard.
Yeah.
My opponent's in open. Same thing. That cut comes. I'm going to control, and I'm here.
Absolutely.
So
That's what I
can
was talking about. Yeah. Perfect.
yeah.
Perfect.
So
Yep.
I can be back to the blade, or I
There you
can
go.
come, and I can come. I can cut, and then I can thrust. And then once you
Got it.
thrust, that stays in. So this line is occupied now. I've already parried him. So if he tries to cut back, I'm here.
Close it out and scoop
There's your
under.
classical.
Classical. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So this is why I play low guard so much. It's because all I gotta do is stick the tip of my blade on your midline, and as long as I'm ahead of you in time, you're fucked. Like you can't catch up. If I know my game
Yeah.
and I've
Halfway
typed
to the target. Right.
you see you can't catch up. It's impossible.
Yeah.
This is what I like about low line, right? Cruzada, these motions, cruzada, cruzada, cruzada. I don't know. They're a gross motion. They have the application, but they're not as sophisticated as the Priley. Priley's quick, snap. You're on the line, poke.
I gotta be honest with you. I'm in your lane. Like, I think Friday, the use of it, pulling it up and getting people's hand, I think it's so underrated. Like, you know what
Well,
I mean? Because you're halfway to the target. So if I'm in that low guard, like you're saying, I'm halfway to target. If you're coming down, I just need to range out, take your hand. So I'm with you on that.
that's just it. Yeah. So even you got your tip out, like you said, you're here. As soon as that comes in, all I have to do is this. You're gonna cut
That's
yourself. You don't
right.
have to do anything. I'm just here. Poke. Right. So from there, thrust. Maybe I create a bit of space. Cut back.
Yeah.
Right?
Nice, nice.
The Zoom kit, I like Zoom kit too, but the problem with Zoom kit is when you say that a cut comes from abierta and I Zoom kit, the inertia allows for the counter. So you have to stay sticky. You have to Zoom kit.
There's a tactile.
You have to. I feel like you got to draw it down and you bury that
Yeah.
blade down, and then you come up again.
Yeah.
But all the fencing moves, all the low line, prilate positioning, vertical positioning, I favor. You know.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Cruzada is applicable, but man, it's like people don't understand. Like to actually pull Cruzada off is like you got to be really skilled. It's not a beginner move.
No,
Like,
I gotta be honest with you.
If I'm doing a redonda, right?
Yeah, it's
All
tough.
Cruzada is a moment in time. Because really, all I'm going to do is step in, parry, and cut. There's
Yeah.
Cruzada right there. What's Cruzada? Cruzada is it's redonda from abierta, or sorry, cerrada, right? Your Cruzada, that's your defining moment, but it's just a cut. You're intercepting, cutting in. So I feel like a lot of these motions are preemptive. They're not even they're not defensive. Because by the time I step in with a redonda cut and someone tries to intercept it, I'm just going to parry you and cut. That's your cruzada. That's your defining moment. There's cruzada there. Here's cruzada. Yeah.
Yeah, I find them. Yeah, I totally understand. Yeah, like they're going to be difficult to pull off. I mean, I've had difficulty with it. What about? Here's just something I wanted to ask you. Cabion, like, what's your version of that? I'd be interested in seeing that.
Kabayan, I like the Kabayan. Kabayan is nice because in medium range, it sets you up for the counter. So for me, in this position, it's hard. I wish I had Jetta here.
It's
So
okay.
if a thrust is coming, say, from abierta position from my opponent, so the cabayan is specifically back of the blade, and the reason for that is there's a stickiness, there's a quality to how the steel interacts.
Mm.
So I step, elbow in, you step. There's your cabayan. Here's your empty hand. There's my control. So now I've stepped out. Now he's in serrata. If he tries to come back, guess what? You have to pass that line.
Yeah.
So from there, what do? I step up. I close him off. Or if I'm not in a position, I'll just let him pass. Now I'm on the close side again.
Yeah.
So similarly, if the cabayan comes from the other side, if I'm abierta, so I step out with my right foot. Here's cabayan. Back to the blade. Cut. Here's my empty hand. Here's my control. Thrust. Right? He wants to cut back. Oh, cut back.
Right.
Right. Cabayan is
like that riding, right? That riding.
Yeah, and especially like if you train with aluminums, it's hard to really feel it. But the steel, I find, when you make contact at the back of the blade, and if your timing is correct, when you step, snap, like you can feel that carry over, right? So this whole position, again, my elbow's anchored on my hip. When I step out with this foot, here, this is my whole body, carries that, poof, rides it, control.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about
Cut.
how about scooping, salok?
Salok?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the salok. The salok, for me, salok is like I might get a lot of shit for this, but salok's
okay.
like range. But if I'm going to be late, right?
If you're going to be late, okay.
Let's say all things being equal, someone attacks my hip, right?
Okay.
And salok starts with a florete position because you got to approach it with the flat of the blade. So when the cut comes, you're guiding, but then you're cutting up into the hand, into the forearm, into the elbow, and then probably going to cut across. But it's hard to capture that because if someone is cutting, there's a lot of speed involved. So it's hard to, and then I'm going to do salok. It's already gone.
What's difficult is following the force. You're following the force. You know what I mean?
That's right. So that for me, when that cut comes, I'll step with the direction of the cut. So he's coming to buy time. So here it comes. I'm buying time because I step in the same direction. Gotcha. Now I'm going to cut up, and now I'm on the short side. I can probably capture that hand and do it this arm.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, to further that, there's sneaky tricks, which typically the florete and the salok, you're always going to go palm up because this is strong. You're not, if you get cut here, you're not going to die. And there's way more rigidity here. So if you pass, you're passing here. If you're here, you're passing here. But if a cut does come, you can, what is more like a sampal. So you slap, you're going to parry it, slap, and then you come up into the cut. Similar from the other side, slap, come up.
What about this? Here's the question.
Coming palm down, but it's risky. Because as soon as I do this, that guy can just cut up, and then I'm
right. Here's a question for you, and something I've been playing with. Can you meet the force with scooping?
Can you meet the force with scooping? Let me just process that. In terms of this way?
Salok. In other words, if I'm coming on let's say a number 2 or 3, right, is coming on my legs. If I maneuver reposition, couldn't I scoop, but on a meeting, or is that construed as incorrect application?
That it might be difficult to do if I'm hearing you correctly, because in order to do that, you got to step in, and then this leg gets compromised. So I'm in this position, and I want to meet that force to force and slow it down and scoop. There's a chance I can break that radius and come up, but I feel like I might get hit.
Here's another question for you on the scoop. So in other words, should I definitely when it's coming, let's say on the falling force, right? Okay, and there, in there, would you, in other words, one of the videos I saw from Ricketts' collection, it was in GM Ricketts' house. So Tatang, he came. There were two feeds from Romeo. One was he basically came down a hand and scooped up from there. Is that
So
something?
he petty piss. He cut down the hand.
No, not Pampers. He kind of just here comes. It was basically a number three coming at him. He basically came down and then just right from there scooped.
Oh, from this position, like a
He
disarm. You
was
mean?
no, it wasn't a disarm. He hit the hand, and after hitting the hand, he basically scooped right up.
Yes, that's funny you bring that up because I was just reviewing that with some guys like last weekend. So you can do that. So oh man, I wish I had the video available. But we were playing that where go on. If that cut was coming, we were almost meeting like we were going to hit. So that three is coming.
Yeah.
And then we would switch. And then we would come up. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, or basically, I'm probably overcomplicating this, but you could argue box sock to scooping.
You're arguing bug sock.
Could be, yeah.
Right. So meet it early. So bug sock. So that would be doublette.
I mean, just hit scoop.
But the finish would resemble like a salok.
Okay.
But you would hit pack.
Yes.
Something like that.
No, it's fascinating. Awesome. No, I'm really enjoying this. Ferrete, are you so? In other words, from Australia, if I want to kind of feather out, if I see him, I feel him changing a line. Couldn't from there? Couldn't I Ferrete out, try to get the cut? Is that something you do?
Yeah, it can be. You can come here, say you miss the energy, he pushes. You switch. Correct?
Okay.
Is that what you meant?
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Yeah, cut comms, guide it. And again, the short would be here, clear that line, angled footwork. Again, elbow at the hip, here, drop. Now I'm here. Now he's already there. Right. So if he cuts back, pack, I switch.
Yeah.
Or if I stick here and he cuts back, I clear, I create another angle. Now I create space here.
Nice. Yeah. Man, digging it. So what's your
I take it, keep going.
Yeah, no. What's your app? Okay, so back to Ferrete. What's your application? Do you use it more in transition, or do you use it actually, like, for instance, off actual strikes? So is it a transitional move for you?
I'll use Ferrete. I'll use Ferrete from basically 0 almost to 90. So if someone even cuts me from Serrata here, I can still have enough an angle. I'll drop, I clear it, and I'll come in. The 0, I can capture here. That's short. Finish. It's the same from this side. Can come here, and then I always have this here.
Brace it, right? Okay, yeah.
Palm on top, and then if this Paridaga.
Right. Yeah.
Here. Yeah. Similar here.
Got it. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, this is awesome. Folks, if you got questions, you want to see something, don't be shy. Otherwise, I'll just keep going away.
Just keep going. But this is good. I wish I tried to organize with my daughter. And my apologies.
No worries. This is good. I'll make do. Don't worry. I'll get creative here. Far back to Australia. So I know you can't see me, but if I take the Australia here and I go into Tambata, right? From
Do you
there,
think?
you're automatically scooping, right?
Yeah, because you've got the angle of incidence on the flat of your blade and your opponent's edge.
Yeah.
So as long as that's correct, you're not like too shallow or too deep. You should be able to guide that out.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What else? On the closed Australia, let's just say off a closed backhand. Yeah. Are you basically push, planchata, arco?
Yeah. So from this position, for me, I'm because I know that I have power off my empty hand. This is
Mm,
I'm just basically hiding behind this,
right.
and then I'm going to push, and then yeah, maybe I'll come into this.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll do Arco and then come into my Amara series, or from here you can push, and there is a disarm there.
Mm, okay.
That's your game.
Okay.
I wouldn't do that myself. But yeah, to further that in this position here, so that's also predicated that I'm out a bit. Like I'm these are shorter blades too. Like I can probably get to the forearm, but
Mm,
instead of coming here, I can also come here. Right.
right.
So instead of coming here, I'll just chop down immediately. So there's my cut, and then my parry's there. Even if I don't
Okay.
want to hit the head, maybe I'm going to cut, parry. There's my line again. I'm
Yeah.
control. I just cut you. You can't get back. What are you going to do? You're going to push on that? Oh, I'll go to the other side.
Right.
You want to push on
Right.
that? There's my bug sock. Finish.
Mm,
Right?
right.
Yeah.
So some pow. So some pow.
Medium, close quarter. Depending on the situation, you got those two options. It's like, depending on the energy, am I going to pass it and go to the other side, or am I going to close them off? So you got the two options.
Right.
Yeah.
Some pow. So
Somehow.
the thing with some pow is like if a tight thrust is coming in, I bump it at center. Like, are you still, in other words, when I bump at center, I'm still making a tactile riding it just because the threat is not completely negated. Am I correct in that?
Like this for me, I think I understood what I heard you say. Um, I feel like the somehow for me, it's like last minute.
Yeah. Oh no, it's definitely
It's
like
like
you're late,
I
man.
mean,
Oh crap.
I'm late
Right?
on my end because
Yeah,
somehow
correct.
is
Right.
force to force. You're gonna slap it out of the way. You're gonna cut up or whatever it's gonna be. There's not a lot of like grace or control with it, right? You're just kind of lost. You're just last minute. Oh, slap! Ooh!
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Get the
No,
fuck out of
definitely
the
you're
way
late. Yeah,
because you're late.
absolutely. You're
I think
late. Yeah,
somehow
you're
people
late.
think,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. So Kidana Ray out. When you're coming up like there, are you bumping up, then coming around to there while you're monitoring, of course, their weapon hand? But I mean, what I mean by bumping, are you bumping their strike up so they can't blue worm you?
yeah, for me, I'm in this position, so I'm aligning my hand to his weapon hand, and as he comes in, I'm just keeping this taut because Canada Real is like a punching motion. I zone, I control, I push, I punch through, I punch out, and then I'm sticky on the wrist, and then I collapse to his head.
Okay.
That's the entrance. So from the entrance, so you can punch through, cut, like I can parry, I can cut through, I can do whatever, or I can punch through, I can stay sticky, gather him down, and then say punch through again, cut back.
Right.
Yeah, but there's lots of options that could then there's different things you can do.
Do you ever go Kidana Ray out and then from there just drop into Dambada?
So yeah, I know the movie you're talking about. It works. I always favor, like, I want to hit.
You want to hit with the option. Yeah.
I can step in,
And
And I
just,
can do it
yeah,
if I'm right here,
yeah.
right? I stay sticky, gather it, and then I finish. Um, but that's a good question. Yeah, you can tune butter right away.
Yeah. I just find, and I'm not saying it's better, believe me. Like it just, man, you just drop on them. It just kind of pins them there. But, interesting. No, great stuff, man.
Yeah, 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 for sure.
Pluma. So the whole thing with Pluma is, like from my understanding, or what I try to do is I try to take each defensive thing and I try to work all strikes. So I have some semblance, okay, where this works, not so much. But I think the only way to do that is you just got to get in there, have people feed you, put a helmet on, and where you fail, you fail. But is it fair to say you can basically plume everything with the right positional adjustment, correct?
That's right. You Pluma is applicable all over the place.
Okay,
Absolutely.
okay,
Or maybe more specifically, I'd say media Pluma,
okay.
right? And I like say off an angle 9, I could capture here, right?
Ooh, hopefully he comes back.
A cadena
Later,
entrance.
yeah.
I could just come here, right, and just come right off the top. Now that's Pluma, and I could go into a disarm. I could enter
Right.
here,
Okay. Yeah.
traca a la contra cerrada from this position, right?
Yes.
This is
Yeah.
Pluma. I could hit you right here. I could hit you here, and then open that up.
Okay. So,
Yeah, I mean from the
so
outside, medium, a cut could come in, capture here. I can climb over. I can step in. I can make a shallow transition. I can cut back. This is
mm,
Pluma.
hey, how about what's tough, man?
But Pluma is here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's tough is how do you do with this? Like for instance, numbers 7, 11s or 6 and 10 thrust, man. Like stepping like off the 7-11s, you're stepping off to the left in Pluma, man. Like, do you have success with that? Like that was hard for me.
Yeah, I mean, there is a knack because when you step out, you really have to get this up, and this has to be here, depending on the angle. Like you have to have your
Yeah.
hand up, right? And when you capture that, when you step, it's this connectivity here. You want to capture, and then I'm drawing it back, and then once I'm pulling you and I've displaced your weapon, then I crawl on top and then I counter. It's similar
Right.
with this, right? With the dagger, if I step, the easier with the dagger, right?
Yeah, because you can capture it. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. With double weapons, it's easy to capture because now I can create the fulcrum.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even when
Right.
even when a 6 comes, I can still capture that and clear it. It's an odd.
Yeah. Even on the.
But you
Yeah.
can still. Yeah.
Right. You can still capture. Just say on the. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's fascinating. Yeah.
Cruzada side also.
How do you with number 6 and 10s? How do you deal with them with verticals? Pluma, like what Australia's?
Just bear with me. My numbers. So 10 here.
10 is yeah, 10's the higher, 6 the wide. Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I mean, depending, I get a lot of shit for this. Depends on the shortcut. Like if I have a dagger, and I know I can get up. Like if I'm in this position, I'll just cut you right away. Right. But I mean, textbook would be, I don't do vertical Australia, but like maybe if for insurance policies, this is going to come up. You're going to step. This is going to come up. Here's my control. Here's my follow.
Yeah.
Right.
The vertical. Okay.
But I mean, for me, those higher thrusts are more available, especially if I'm on the outside. If I'm in this position and that thrust comes, I'll just do Australia on the outside.
On the outside. Yeah. Right? Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Or maybe Australia, I'll come into the armpit, and then I can disarm.
Okay, good. No, so you use Australia's too. Good. Okay. All right. Nice.
Yep. And I mean,
Um,
also on that angle, again, here's your cabayans, right?
yeah.
Cabayan off both of those. And then once you get into anything that's like 45 degrees on either side, now you're back into your prilets or right. Simmer from the
Nice.
outside, come up. I can clear here. Parry. Where's my thrust?
Yeah. What do you do for what's your Boco de Lobo?
Boque Lobo, mouth of the wolf. I like Boque
Yeah,
Lobo.
yeah, the mouth of the wolf.
The whole thing, Boque Lobo. My interest for Boque Lobo is prile, and especially if you have the steel. Once I come here, once I capture you, the inertia and the impetus that comes off that draw is crazy.
That's your Boco.
Like I was training with guys, I was throwing their blades like way.
Really interesting.
Super far away. Yeah. And it's, if you have the correct footwork, up, spill it off and cut back. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
so are you using it?
Tumbada, but that's a shorter circle.
Okay.
But if that cut comes in, I do Boque Lobo here, I'm cutting. Off prile, it's a fucking monster. There's just
I can see that. You're up here, man, and now you're just wham. That's a freaking. But what about a more you're not gonna be able to see me, but like what about a more short, like in other words, circling out, like for instance, on a even on a thrust, maybe like on the lower Boca de Lobo for number 5? No,
a number 5. I don't know Boque Lobo from 5. All I know, Boque Lobo is
from the higher up. So okay.
From higher up. So you're thinking a low line thrust, and then you're coming here.
I'm bumping it over and then and box hook.
Because that's if that low line came in, I did that same motion, that would be a cabayan.
Oh, that's more okay. So okay.
And I would cut up. But Boque Lobo specifically as a defense on a high tact.
Okay.
So basically anything from like here to here. Anything
that would be your gotcha. Okay.
Because you got to come under it. And similar on the other side, you can come under this way and cut.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, Doble Carrera.
Doble Carrera. I like Doble Carrera on the short side. On the Serrata side, if I'm already in close, right, and it's loose in the hand, smack. That's all it is. Just quick, like.
So you're doing 2 with the choppy steps. You're just okay. All right.
Yeah, I always like. I'll use my feet.
Gotcha. Nice. Awesome. Yeah, I know it's fun. Okay, I'm going through all this. Okay. What are you doing? Okay, so how do you train number 5s? Are you doing Cruzada number 5? Are you doing?
So we're speaking the same language. We're talking about a thrust to the navel.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so for me, in this position, if that comes in, I'm probably gonna. I'll drop back. I'll parry, and I'll just come here.
Okay, we have. Okay.
If that thrust comes again, could come here. It depends on what side. If I'm slightly to the right, and that comes.
Yeah.
Here's my insurance policy. Here's my own thrust.
Gotcha.
If it's coming from the other side, I'm gonna drop this leg. I'm gonna get this out of line just by stepping back, and I'll just cut straight down.
And do that. Okay.
I mean,
nice.
Then let's say I'm in this position. It takes time to come here or there. So if I'm going to come this way, then I make the adjustment with my foot, right? If I'm cutting on 90, my footwork's 90. 45, footwork's 45. If I'm not going to adjust to come from above, and I'm going to cut below. So 5 comes, maybe it's Aldebis. 5 comes, maybe it's Anglo.
Right.
5 comes, maybe it's more like planchada.
Yeah.
Maybe I step up.
Okay. Yeah. Similar. Okay. Good. What if you're in a high guard? Would you guys ever arco?
Like redonda?
Yeah.
In this position? Yeah, absolutely. And especially in range, right? If someone comes pushing in with a thrust, quite easy to like just clear that and then back in.
Okay.
Right? Clear. Maybe he tries to counter. Boom.
Right. Nice.
And bug suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I think I went through. What do you guys? Okay. Here's something. Yeah, we want to kind of talk about. So, what do you combate general? What's your take on that? As far as the footwork.
Combate general, you're stepping in the same direction as the cut. So it's long, right? So that cut comes, say it's coming deep from Abiart on his side. As soon as he cuts, I'm really stepping in deep, and I'm going to target his hand. So the idea is be cut, let that cut pass, cut, let it pass, cut up again. So there's a 3-cut sequence to that basic combate general, and the other one is Tres Antanas, which is the 3-step, and that's a rompida cut. So same idea. That cut comes again, occupy center line, which I prefer. So if that cut passes, guess what? Here it comes again. Passes again. Here it comes again. And each time I step, it's hard. I don't have much space here, so it's like 1, 2, 3.
Right, Trace Adonis. You know, it's so interesting because I just learned, like most people, when well, I guess depending on who you talk to, I shouldn't say most people. That's not fair. Like they associate combate general with the footwork, which it is, but the striking pattern which you first did, which the to the planchada to the Aldebis, like
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first weekend, I always told was 3 cuts and Josh, it's just a triangle. He would say. So it was Anglo or Real, planchada, Aldebis. 1, 2, 3.
Those are the key thing, like you said, was really getting off to that side.
You really have to step out, but it will buy you the time, right?
Right.
It buys you time because you're stepping in the same direction as the cut.
Yeah, interesting. Let me go see here. What's your Eki's footwork? What are you guys doing now? Are you making actual little?
Different practitioners did it different. It was funny because I thought about that before we got on this. For me, the Lutong and the Akis are the same family, and the only reason in my mind why Akis is there is because the cut's traveling across the body. So if I say, let's say I'm doing a linear cut, if I do say Lutong, or I say like I do a redonda, and I hang that foot, okay, the cut's linear, the footwork's linear. As soon as I cut across the body, well, the hip has to twist naturally, right? So therefore, if I'm going to hang that foot, there's my twist. The hips have to twist in order for that to take place. And if you're dealing with blades, you can't wield in the same way as a stick. There's more weight. So you have to have the proper, you're throwing with your hip to get it back. Same thing with Lutong, right? Whereas I've seen other guys who do the Akis, they get set and they're like, okay, that was their expression of it. But I don't think that was how that application was meant to operate in my mind.
I think it's neat how you compare and contrast it to based off cuts. Like you're totally correct. Like, yeah, I mean, if you're doing the Ekis, it makes sense. You're going to do an Anglo. You know what I mean? Just because of the capitalizing on the hip rotation, right?
Well, that's just it. So I always say anything that's crossing center line, right? So if I'm here, say I do al devis, we'll say the same mechanic is happening. That this hip's twisting, so that's coming across. I cut back, poof, planchada, poof, whatever, angolo, poof. But if I'm doing redonda, of course,
right. You're not gonna be, totally.
Yeah. And that the nice thing about that footwork is people say, oh, that's part of the retirada series, but something I think that separates the lutong from the other footwork in the retirada is that it's really transitional, because it allows you to keep your hips in the same location. I'm basically not even moving my body, right? I can bait with my hand. It's the illusion that I'm getting out of the way, right? I'm basically in the same spot, right? And same can be said with the kiss. Like I can hang here with the kiss and come back. The kiss is a little more.
Actually, you don't need to plant the foot. There's nobody saying you got to plant the foot, right?
Yeah. So, and then with that, the other footworks were, well, we call it like the natural footwork, the shuffle in, shuffle back. But I mean, I use that. I never really see anybody using it. And the other one was the elastico, right? You're here.
Yeah.
Back. This way, where you're just kind of pivoting. Again, it's transitional, right?
Yeah.
You're in a position where you think you've given your opponent an opportunity to hit, and you're back now, right? But for me, I don't really use those. I almost exclusively use lutong, kiss, and I do tatlang bao footwork.
Well, because you're tall and longer, like I mean, I could definitely see that. I can see why totally you would do that. So what? Here's something like what's your on retirada? Are you including advanced retreat advance? As long as there's a retreat.
Basically I for me it's retreat 1, counter 2. So I typically I'll bait, right? Leave this in, and then as soon as I do that a couple times, then we'll step in, right? Okay. Yeah, for me. I mean, obviously you want to be able to dispatch a man from like long to medium range.
Yeah.
Why risk getting into close quarter if you don't have to? I just feel like retirada is it's a game that can be mastered. I'm gonna be bold and say like quicker than like medium and close quarter. So I mean, I still spend time in retirada, but my focus now as I get older, like I like playing medium and close quarter, and I like playing sticky with the blades, and I like closing people off. And I really like playing with it's old man style. I like playing with the accuracy of the angles in my guard position and spatial awareness and all of those things.
Yeah. I can dig it. So your retirada then is not necessarily, you're calling the shuffle if you don't foot replace. If you just go back, I mean, in other words, if you're in right lead, left goes back first. There. Are you guys talking? That's just your shuffle then, right?
Yes. Are you speaking this then?
No, just what you just did. That's your shuffle. Okay.
Yeah, that would just be like a natural shuffle.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the only other footwork I would say that I would deploy is the angled footwork, where I'm going to keep my back foot anchored. So this is like I'm almost baiting, like I'm here. That cut can come in, snap, right? That foot can come in, angled.
Okay.
Angled.
Right.
Yeah.
So so let me see, you touched upon it, talamboa. Let me see what you're doing for that.
Oh, talamboa. Yeah, so there's 2 types, right? So if I have space, it's all predicated on space. Like say I've got a cut coming from whatever side, abierta or whatever. If I have the space to move, then I step directly. If I have space to move, I step directly. If I don't have space to move, here.
Got it. Okay, you're doing the V. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, because if I'm in position and like say I want to get to that spot, like I'm gonna step, I'm gonna get whacked.
Right.
by stepping back, I mean, that's like 18 inches, almost 2 feet. All of a sudden I got acres of space, but it doesn't look like too much if I'm here.
Right.
It doesn't look like anything's happening, but there's a lot of space happening when I do that footwork. But I feel like when I get close quarter, I tend to play that game a bit more.
And the other one, you're just pivoting around. I mean, like some you know, where you were foot replaced, so to speak. On the first one you were showing.
Right, the first one, like you're in this position.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then with that one specifically, you're realigning.
Yeah.
You know, that works on your traditional. Okay, here's cruzada, right?
Mm.
You know, point lined up to my shoulder, lined up to my feet, and then it's when I do that pivot, the cut
You're cutting, right.
Up here. Now when I pivot,
Cutting.
cut happens. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Wow, man. Awesome.
Yeah.
No, it was great. It was
I was really hoping Jeddah could show up, man. It's like, it's better obviously when you have a partner, because we'd be calling all this shit and like I could actually show you the.
Yeah, no, but I mean, you basically answered everything from even on the media Friday, the way it was describing it. So I thought it went great. So
okay, good. Yeah, man.
It was really, you know what was really interesting. If you don't mind showing again, when you were doing Kabayan on the higher line, like how are you transitioning into that?
So it would be like just a regular talon bow forward, because I got the space. So again, you know, I'm pointing, right? That line's coming in, and I'm basically coming up, keeping it super tight. As I do, I step, roll, cut. And when I do that, the displacement happens. His blade goes there, or her blade. I'm in this position now. Here's my line. I'm pointed to you. So that's my insurance policy. That blade wants to come back, I have interception.
Right. So are you coming up with the spine first?
Pardon me?
Are you coming up with the spine first when you're rolling it over?
Yeah. Like I'm here. I'm basically rolling right onto that. And then as I step and my hip moves, I drag it. And then I come across. So similar on that side. As I step, back of the blade, as I pivot, boom, throw it. And then I come into this. It's really hip. It's hip and leg. It really, to get that proper application, you have to get that pivot. And again, that's that medium range footwork.
Oh, the pit, right? Okay, like where you're doing exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. That was I just never seen that. That was interesting. Off like the higher. Wow, that was interesting. It was shown to me kind of like off the lower laterals, the lower planchadas. You know.
Oh, okay. Like for Kabayan.
That's the way. That's how I would. That's how it was shown to me. But I totally are getting the gist of what you're saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh man, I wish. Oh shit. How can we?
I know it's all right.
Get it up somehow. But I know that you can visualize it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I only do Kabayan really off those thrusts. Spill.
Interesting. Yeah, and you're doing it you're doing them off the 6 and 7s and 10s and 11s.
That's right. Yeah. And then once you get off the 10s and 11s, it becomes Boco Lobo.
Yeah.
So that's. So then that's another podcast. We can talk about the transition point of all the techniques, right? Like when does Prile become Cruzada, right? So there's all those positions where, one defense turns into another based on weapon alignment and foot positioning, right?
Yeah, like I see again, like in transition, like I'm going to Friday now, Cruzada, or you were saying like you're going to Friday, man, and now that freaking killer Bogo de Lobo coming down and splitting, you know.
Well, that's just it. It's just like because the technique, like the Boque Lobo technique, that gripping and moving, it's the exact same motion with the Boque Lobo.
Hey, what about the multi-man though? On the multi-man one, you're totally swinging around, right?
You can. It can be like if it like. I think the whole idea is you can capture, and now I'm protected here, and then perhaps I have somebody here. Right. Or you can make a short one and cut.
A short one.
But here, bang, and now I've got this hand. Oh, I'll just disarm you. Simple.
Man. Yeah. Wow. So what are you using for like if you were used just Ferrete, are you using it like what angles of attack would you use it off?
Florete for me, I can go pretty much. This is the diversity of Florete. You can pretty much go from here all the way to here.
So even on those thin cuts, you're using it? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, you use if you use the correct footwork, as long as your angle of interception is correct, it works. I did a couple on my Instagram page. You can check it out.
I got to check it out. No, I'm definitely gonna check it out. Yeah.
Even that cut comes in, like I can intercept it, guide it through, come through at 90, easy.
Yeah, 90. Yeah, like I was told, and again, I'm you're far more. You're far more experienced. But do you do the bounce? In other words, like bounce and then create the thrust, or you're more of a guiding? You're giving more of a guiding aspect to it.
Yeah, there's no bounce. I'm super sticky. I'm gonna cap. I like to use the expression. I'm gonna capture your blade. I'll meet your energy. You gotta meet it. So it's like when it comes in, like I'm almost gonna reach out, grab it, and pull it in. And then as soon as you hear like say that cut's coming in, I haven't controlled that. Then I got it controlled. One motion. Then I know correctly. But I mean that's something I've been working on for fucking like 20 years, right? But and it's something that's
that tactile sensitivity, right?
And that's and I think just you see it with stick practitioners a lot. There's a gap. There's just a gap. Like people are like,
are you always
and are like, I don't know where I'm going with this, but there's a gap sometimes with the understanding. You can always tell someone who like thinks they train with blades, but they don't really know, or they train with sticks percent of the time, and once while they pick up a bolo or something and think they're going to blindly exchange it. There's just, or you see guys sparring, like racing in like Neanderthals and whacking each other with sticks. Yeah, that's great, and it has its application, but you can't do that with a stack, or you make one margin error, you make one mistake, the fight's over, man. All that Neanderthal like barbaric stuff has no application, like zero. So
what are you always, because of your length, are you always thrusting after Friday, or do you ever Sinkit or
it depends on my range. Like if I'm further out, like if I'm like medium long, like say a pack, I'll cut. But as soon as I'm medium short, stop, I thrust right away. I'll thrust and then maybe cut and do whatever else I'm going to do.
Okay.
Yeah, but definitely medium long. I'll parry. I'll go into a cut, and I'll continue to attack your hand or whatever before I decide to move into close quarter. Yeah.
Do you something? Again, I just play around and experiment. Like I just try to I'll focus on one thing and just see like how it yields for me. You know what I mean? Like okay, this one pretty good. Maybe not so much, but like, are you playing back to kind of media Friday? Like because you like the low guard, right?
Yeah.
Do you ever just go media coming up to top of the hand into pluma?
Sorry. So So from here coming up into Pluma.
Correct.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
And that works well. Well, for me, especially anybody coming from Serrata, Pasig de Abierta, can happen here as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, like coming up on the hand and just okay, good. So
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
not
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Like that's it. Again, I
Okay.
did a video on my Instagram, that same thing. So a cut comes in, I won't even go back to the blade. I'll cut right up to it and then
And then you're going into it. Got
hit,
it. Got it.
cut around.
I
Yeah.
should say fun.
Same, same thing. Well, you can hit, come on. But that's Pluma. But then I mean, technically, I guess that we're talking about a doublette series, right? So which is cut, hit, cut, hit, cut, hit.
What's your definition? That's interesting. On doublette, is your definition 2 strikes to a limb, or is it a full strike to a broken strike? What's your of doublette?
Doublette for me is just like a double hit to an appendage.
So
You know?
so double hit to an arm, leg. Gotcha. Okay, whatever
Yeah.
part of the body. Okay.
Yeah, sure. I mean, some people may challenge me on that, but I mean, potentially you could, like, I maybe I could hit your weapon to clear your weapon, and then come up and then hit your hand. That could be a doublette, right? But for me, typically long range, I'm gonna hit your hand, hit it again. That's my doublette. Hit the hand. I'll double down on that.
Got it. Yeah, man, this is sweet, man. I ran have techniques and everything to ask you in defensive movement, so I went through all of them.
Yeah. I mean, I can go on and on. I just, I just wish I had a training.
I love your training. You're the first person though I've seen, and I'm sure there's others out there. So I don't want people misconstruing this, but like kind of the defensive movements, like kind of paired up in transition. That's kind of neat. You know what I mean? Like the Cabian, like into the Boco de Lobo, right? Into a Fraile, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, like just have the transitioning of technique that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if folks want to where you, again, I know you're British Columbia, right?
Yeah, I'm in the southern mountains of British Columbia. I've got some guys down in the Lower Mainland who I train with regularly, and actually I'm driving my daughter down to that area in like 10 days going to university. So I'll be pairing up with those guys, and we're going to come up with a plan. We're going to try to set up some curriculum or something so people can have a taste of, my flavor of Illustrissimo, if you will. So we're working on that. And as of right now, I mean, until then, I just keep posting clips of us training, doing.
I think it's great. I think on when I go on Instagram, I definitely. But so what do you so for folks, if they want to get a hold of you, I mean, like I'm guessing best
just message me through
Instagram?
social media, and then when we get our online training platform set up, people can reach me through that.
So what's the airport by you? Gosh, I couldn't even guess.
Oh gosh, I think the closest one is there's Penticton, but it's not that active. Kelowna, BC. So Kelowna is about 4 hours from Vancouver.
So that's the closest. Like for somebody was to fly in to see you, like you're 4 hours from the airport.
Yeah, if you flew to if you fly to Penticton, I'm 15 minutes away. You fly to Kelowna, I'm an hour away.
Oh, okay. Kelowna, you're okay. Is that a bigger airport, Kelowna?
It is. Kelowna is like an international airport. There's way more traffic and there's way more flight options. Penticton's kind of like it's at the end of the Okanagan Valley, and it's not as.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Kelowna.
That's Colona.
Kelowna. Kelowna.
Oh my God, I wasn't even close. So Kal.
Kel.
Sorry.
Yeah. Just gonna sit down.
It's
sorry, Kelowna.
Okay, got it. Oh.
Yeah.
Gosh, I wasn't even close. Okay.
It's all these.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out, man. See, Yeah, I would love to like train with you. I mean, I like your whole thing, your approach, and
Oh, thank you.
yeah, you know what I mean. Like, yeah. So I think it'd be really neat.
Well,
So
that's
yeah.
you
So
know what, at this point, like I just know what I know, and then like I like to problem solve.
yeah,
Like I train with guys, they're like, hey, what about this? And then I'm like, okay, well, let's look at it, let's figure it out. And like, is it logical? Yeah. Does it work? Yeah. Okay. Well, if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work, you know. And for me, as long as it adheres to like the principle, then it works, you know. And I don't think there's any like right or wrong. It's just kind of, you know, yeah, let's just let's just study.
see. I love that frame of mind. Like, yeah, like we're gonna see what works for based on our body types or our experience or what resonates with it or just comes out of us organically. And yeah, like as opposed to like way is way. You know what I mean? Like that.
That exactly. You know, and that we I had talks with guys in Manila back in the day, and you know, the whole idea wasn't like, hey, we're not trying to emulate Tatang. Like Tatang is Tatang.
Yeah,
We're
good
trying
luck.
to like, take his teaching and make it fit for who we are as individuals, right?
Exactly.
Like I'm a tall, lanky dude. Like so, obviously, some moves favor me more so than other guys who are like short and stocky. Like they were better at other things than I was better at. So you kind of you take the pieces that work, and then you come up with your expression of what the system is, and it's
Mm.
to yeah. I mean, I try to adhere as much as possible to the teaching, and um, but at the end of the day, it's just the principle, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like yeah, you want to hold, I mean, the integrity of what was given to you and all that. I mean, sure, so it doesn't look like a totally different animal, but you have to be also, like you were saying, taking into consideration like who's in front of you based on their, body type and
Yeah.
oh, here's something from Michael. Dennis says, "See you then." This is nice of Michael. Love to see a live stream with the two of you together. That would be kind of neat, actually. You know? Yeah.
Was that Michael and Dennis?
The last one was my last comment I posted was Michael. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah. Love to see a live stream with the two of you together. That was
Uh,
Michael.
nice, nice.
And Dennis is saying he'll see you then.
Yeah, that's it.
So,
Yeah, that's Dennis. So those are some of the guys that have been coming up, and I've trained them with. They're from Vancouver.
oh, nice, nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
good guys, talented guys. They're such good training partners. Yeah.
Yeah. I tell you that's so important, man. They're not a dime a dozen, man. Good training partners, Tell
Yes.
you, that's yeah, not to be
Yeah.
taken for granted, right?
Yeah. Yeah. They're worth their weight in gold for sure.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, man. Like I don't know. I mean, we could you know, I mean, this is part two. We could do another one where I could actually set it up where I have someone that I'm working with.
if you got, yeah, we could do a part three. Like if you could solidify, like you got somebody, and then I'll just route off stuff, man, and you could like just go through everything. Yeah.
Well, that's just it. So I mean, I'm going to be in Vancouver on September 2nd and the 3rd. That might be a good time to do it because I'll have good training partners.
So the second and third, what do you off the top of your head know what days those fall on?
Um, I don't. I'm going to say
Actually, you
it's
know what? I can
Sunday,
check.
Monday.
You know what? I can check.
Yeah,
I've
I
got
think
a
it's Sunday, Monday.
calendar here. Sunday, Monday?
I believe it's a Sunday, Monday. Yeah.
You are correct. It's the first. Wait, the second and third?
Yes.
Monday, Tuesday. Okay.
Okay, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah.
Okay. Second and third. You know what? If it's a definite, I can definitely make something. One of the 2 days, I can absolutely make something work. If I know,
That'd
like,
be cool.
it's
And because those guys, they both work in the film industry, right? So they got
who's
all
that?
the
Dennis and
gimbals,
Mike?
they got all the fancy filming shit. So like I could have like
Oh,
one,
okay.
I could have like a training partner, and then one guy could just like be creating. Actually,
Okay.
it might be a really cool experience because he could probably film a bunch of different angles.
No, that'd be perfect, man. I'll just throw them on. I mean, just be on the show. I mean, so
Yeah.
yeah, because remember this. While you have it on there, I can always um, lower myself. So that just blows up the screen.
Right.
So, I
Right.
mean, we know we do that. So there's always that option too. So,
Okay, cool, man. Well, let's stay in touch. And I really appreciate the opportunity to be on your podcast. It's always fun.
oh my God, no, I really enjoy your energy and your personality. So I definitely more than happy to do another one. Yeah. So solidify with those guys
Yeah.
and touch base with me. And I know one of those 2 days we'll make happen. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good, Dean. I appreciate you. Thanks, buddy.
All right. You take care. Hey,
Okay,
man.
take care, man. Thank you very much, eh?
Yeah, don't get in trouble. Hopefully the temperature doesn't go down too far for you, man.
I think I'm away from -30, so.
Oh, there you go. All right, man.
Okay, buddy.
You take care. All
Yeah,
right.
thank you. Bye now. Bye.
All right, that wraps up. Gosh, I lost track of numbers. 492. That was a good one, man. I like that guy, man. Got like a really good energy. Those who are close to him, and you guys are lucky. Um, Friday, Mike Brewster, 7 o'clock. I'm really looking forward to this one. He's kind of a guy that just kind of lets it rip as far as how he feels about the community and stuff like that. But we won't let it go that far. But at any rate, yeah. So that's gonna be Friday. So if you know of Mike Brewer, you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay. At any rate, thank you all that watched, commented, and see you guys next time.